Merry Meet Witches! I'm Liz. I am a solitary Wiccan witch, and this page is an extension of my Instagram page, Spells, Herbs, and Incantations. So today I want to talk about cleansing a sacred space, or smudging. Before I get into the topic, I do want to touch on the fact that smudging has very deep roots in indigenous cultures. And so I want to be really clear here that I am not talking about the indigenous version of smudging. I am talking about the Wiccan version, which goes back to the Anglo-Saxons in Celtic cultures. That is the type of smudging that I am talking about here today. I'm also going to be kind of specifically talking about a new home or new apartment situation, as well as cleansing specifically a sacred space or a circle. One of the reasons that you might want to cleanse your new space is to sort of get rid of any negative or unwanted energies that are sort of dwindling or left over. I very recently purchased a new home, and not that there were any negative or unwelcomed energies in the home itself. I just wanted to start my home, and specifically my magical workings, because I would be creating a sacred space where I would practice magic in this home. I wanted to just wipe the slate clean. So that was my purpose in cleansing my home. There are times that you walk into a space and you can feel maybe a negative energy or a heavy energy or like a chaotic, angry energy that you kind of want to clear away. That would be this use case of what I'm talking about today. The first thing you want to do when you begin is open up all the doors and close all the windows in the space. Then you want to find your starting point, where you want to begin in your cleansing, and then go to the exact opposite side of your space and open one window, just one. Whether it be a window or a doorway, whichever you want to open. Because the idea is that you are sort of pushing that negative energy towards that open area to sort of push it out of your space. So you'll open that one window on the far side, and then you start in the room or the corner as far on the opposite side of that open door. Then you would begin your cleansing. So you can use a couple different materials depending on what you're trying to do. Obviously the most common material is sage, but you can also use rosemary and lavender as well. I kind of curate a specific bundle that's a combination of rosemary, lavender, and sage, especially for brand new spaces. So you'll take your bundle, you'll take your herb bundle, and then you'll light it on fire, obviously, and you'll have the plume of smoke. And then you take the plume of smoke and you do a ring around the top of the room. I would suggest to put like a bowl underneath it just to catch the ashes coming off it. A lot of people like to use shells as well. That's a very common thing, is to use a shell to put it on. But a bowl, just like a small bowl or even a plate, would work just as well. And you'll want to trace all of the corners of the room. So you'll do all of the corners in the ceiling, the four corners of the room itself, as well as tracing any doorways or archways. So that includes the windows. And the closet doors. We're cleansing towards the door of the room itself. And then you cleanse the inside of the doorway of the room, close the door, then cleanse the outside of the door, and then continue on to the next room, and the next room, and the next room. Like I said, pushing towards that open window or open doorway. And you want to make sure that you're taking your time in getting that smoke in every single corner and around every single archway, openway, doorway. So don't forget a closet, don't forget a window. Archways in between rooms that don't have doors, those count as well. Make sure you're getting those archways as well. And then you'll cleanse towards that open doorway or towards that open window, and then you do exactly what you did with the first door. You cleanse the inside of the doorway, close it, then go outside your house and cleanse the outside of the doorway. Now keep this in mind, which means you're going to want to pick a window or doorway that you can reach on the outside of your house as well. This will sort of, like I said, this sort of pushes all of that weird, icky, negative energy out of the house and then creates a nice barrier to where you have this very clean space, this very clean, cleansed space for you to do your magical work, or even to just like live or work or exist in without being interrupted by any weird, icky, leftover energies. Some people will also create a circle of smoke around their house, which once they're done cleansing the inside, they will draw a circle using the smoke around their house. That is another way. Some people will do this with their property. They'll draw a line around their property. That's just another step that you can take, which is much like cleansing a sacred space. Cleanse a sacred space, you put yourself in the middle as the apex, and then draw a circle with the smoke around the space. This includes the altar if you are working with an altar. Make sure you are walking around that as well, because you don't want your altar to be right on the outside of that circle that you've created. This will give you a safe space to practice your craft without other energies or intentions interrupting your intentions while you are working. Now there's also a third way to do a cleansing, which is cleansing a person. This is a little bit more complicated, and I would definitely suggest to couple this with an incantation. To cleanse the person, you would want to draw the smoke line down their chakra line. So you would start at their crown chakra, which is around the top of their head, and then you draw the smoke down through the chakra line, ending in the grounding chakra, which is below their feet. Like I said, this is a little bit more complicated. I do suggest being familiar with chakras and the chakra lines to cleanse a person, but you don't specifically need to, and I know there are multiple ways to do this. This is just my personal preference way if you're cleansing a person using herbs. The incantation I used when I cleansed my home is smoke of air, fire of earth, cleanse this home and hearth, which I just sort of repeated to myself. I tend to do it in more of a sing-songy voice. Under my breath, you don't have to shout it. It doesn't have to be loud. You can even say it inside your head if you prefer. This will help strengthen and direct your cleansing. There are a lot of incantations online that you can always use, as well as writing your own incantation that feels right to you. And always remember, if you find an incantation that you like, but there's that one word that bothers you, don't be afraid to change it, because for an incantation to work, whether it be a cleansing, a spell, whatever it is that you're doing, for the incantation to work, it has to feel right in your mouth. If you know what I mean, it has to feel right. It has to flow out of you. And if there's a word that you keep kind of getting caught on and it doesn't sound right and you don't like the way it feels, then, or you just keep switching to a different word, or you keep saying a different word instead, then go with what your gut and what your heart is telling you to do. Because the craft is all about what feels right to you. And that's just my opinion on how to cleanse your home and space. Thank you so much for watching my video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, do all the things if that's what you want to do. Please, please, please leave a comment below telling me of future videos that you guys want me to do. I really want to make videos on things that you guys want to see. I don't want to just be talking into the ether here. And of course, to all of my brother and sister witches, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Bye guys.